So good day, good afternoon, good morning, and hello to all those out in the podcast land. My name is James DeBose. I'm the host here at Knack Systems podcast, Now and Next with CX. We are joined today by a very special guest and longtime friend of mine, Julie Mall, who comes over from Zoovu. Zoovu is an interesting solution that we're going to be learning a little bit more today, as well as we have entered into a partnership here with Knack Systems. So without much more ado, I want to get down to some introductions and introduce Julie Mall. Julie, you want to tell us a little bit about who you are?
Sure. Thanks, James. So as James said, I'm with a company called Zoovu. I lead the solutions engineering team globally for Zoovu, but I've been in the e-com space and the CX space for the majority of my career. Sometimes this joke lands, sometimes it doesn't, but I like to say I've been in e-com since the last millennium. Been around the block, as they say, as it relates to commerce, and have had a great partnership through various roles with the Knack Systems team. Think super highly of their work, and I'm so excited to be here today.
Excellent. Thank you very much. And also joining us from the Knack leadership team is Sandeep. Sandeep, you want to do a brief introduction on your side?
Sure. My name is Sandeep Nalgundwar. Hello, everyone. I'm one of the partners here at Knack, responsible for our CX sales and service practice, sales and service side of the equation at Knack. Very happy to, extremely excited to have Zoovu as a partner in the ecosystem, because we are seeing a lot of companies asking us for bigger value that they can get out of their commerce investment. And of course, as a part of this podcast, we'll dive deeper into the what, why, and why this partnership starts making sense.
Excellent. Thank you, sir. So, Julie, tell us a little about Zoovu. As everyone knows, there's a cornucopia of solutions within the SAP ecosystem and a subset of those within the CX landscape. But tell us a little bit about, who Zoovu is, what y'all do, and really what you're bringing to bear in the marketplace here, because there's a lot of buzzwords going on out there: cloud, AI, CX. And I know that you guys are putting together a very comprehensive and very value-based solution. So I want to learn a little bit more and educate the folks as to what you guys are doing over there.
Sure. Appreciate that. So Zoovu at its core is a product search and discovery platform. And what Zoovu does uniquely well is essentially create a unified experience across the full product discovery journey for customers. So if you think of how customers first interact with the site, whether it's B2B or direct to consumer, typically it begins in the search bar. It's also where I like to say most experiences and customer journeys go to die, because search just hasn't really delivered on the value prop that it's given. And that's why some of the other components in that ecosystem exist. In terms of things like guided selling and other solutions like that. Now, what Zoovu really excels at, and why we're really excited about the Knack partnership, is in the concept of product discovery. What we're really solving for is the problem of complexity. So we see this especially resonate in B2B organizations, where they have either really complex catalogs, meaning super wide, super deep, lots of products that look the same, and it's hard for customers to get to the right choice quickly and efficiently. And we solve for that with our solution very, very well. We also solve for product complexity. So think of the C in the CPQ, right, where customers need to be able to actually configure a product before they can purchase it or create a quote. A lot of CPQ systems really great at the P and Q, not so great at the C, and that's really where we excel, because we understand things like product compatibility, product relationships, and we can create a very visually beautiful configure experience that then supports the rest of the process. So at a high level, that's really what Zoovu does, excited to talk some more about how we work together.
Excellent. Guided selling. Definitely going to want to come back to that, because what I've personally seen in the space is the most search capabilities are more filter capabilities than anything. They're not really making recommendations. They're just decreasing the number of options for you to select from. And so very excited to hear a little bit more about guided search, as we're seeing a lot of organizations looking to kind of help drive customer behavior and make it easier for organizations to find the solutions and the products that they need. So we'll put a pin in that one and come back to that. Sandeep, for those who may not be familiar with who we are here at Knack, could you give everybody a little overview on who Knack System is and how we work with organizations and customers in the SAP CX landscape to meet their business goals?
Absolutely. Folks, Knack's been around since 1998. There are 4 partners. All 4 of us come from the SAP ecosystem. Cut our teeth with the whole R3 and old R2 days of what SAP ERP used to be. What we have realized in the 2000s was that while the enterprise applications were being put in place with ERP adoption, the front office was still lacking. So there is a need for a cohesive CX solution. And I'm not going to call it sales, service, commerce, marketing. The idea here is everything needs to work together so that when customers come to the website, salespeople know about it. If a service rep has customer service person has created a case, customer knows about it as well as salesperson knows about it. So the idea here is that in B2B, we have seen a shift of how organizations work. Earlier, everything was based on a sales rep. And the idea here was every interaction used to start with a salesperson making a phone call or receiving a phone call or going into a meeting or meeting a customer at a trade show and stuff like that. What we have seen is that digital has seeped in through the sales process or a customer engagement process, if you can see that. So a lot of the front ending of, hey, discovery of products, is this the right product? All those things have started becoming self-service. Obviously, in B2B, the other idea that started was, hey, can we all be just self-service and fire all the salespeople? That doesn't work either, right? So the idea here is that most of the leaders and thought leaders, as well as the companies that are in forefront of using CX properly, have realized that hybrid is the way to go. That means self-service where applicable, assistance where needed. So what we are seeing in more and more is that the lines between what used to be traditionally a commerce solution or a sales solution or a customer service solution or a CPQ solution or marketing solution, they're all being blurred. So need to have most of the people, most of our customers are seeing the customer engagement as a continuum, which has different products associated with it. So that's where Knack stands. We are extremely proud of the customer base that we have developed and partnered with over the last few years. We specialize in certain industries. Like Julie mentioned, B2B is our claim to fame. We do anything and everything with B2B in certain industries. So whether it's manufacturing, customer products, consumer products, wholesale distribution, apparel, fashion, chemicals, I can add a couple more like pharmaceutical, life sciences, etc. And everywhere we are seeing that there is a need to make discovery of products easier, not just for customers, but also for salespeople. Because as the churn happens in organizations, everyone needs an easy way to arrive at the right product. So what we are seeing is that as we mature, as we see what's possible and not possible with certain base products, we are seeing specialists like Zoovu come up and very excited with what Zoovu has to offer to our customer base and then beyond.
Excellent. Thank you very much. 1998, 27 years ago, and that's strong. Good to hear. Good to hear. So, Julie, everybody's talking about AI, and if you're not talking about AI, then you're probably under a rock somewhere. So tell us a little bit around how this strategic partnership between Knack, Zoovu, SAP is really helping customers with their AI use cases and AI adoption.
Yeah, I mean, I think the nugget is right there, which is use cases. Because most customers, that I've been talking to, obviously they have some sort of organizational direction as to, hey guys, use AI, right? Figure out how to use AI. And it's now being able to create use cases that are delivering value and have already proven to deliver value, which is where I think these the ecosystem comes together, so that we're not just saying, oh, do AI here or do AI there. This is an applied use case for AI specifically to solve this business problem, and it delivers these types of results. And I think that's where the organizations lean in. And I think there are some really, really valuable and value add use cases in the CX space that are going to really drive next gen, next level experiences across the full life cycle that Sandeep mentioned, from commerce to sales to marketing, et cetera. And I think that's really where the play is.
Excellent. Thank you very much. So Sandeep, from your side, how does having Zoovu as a strategic partner and the use cases they bring, the solution capabilities that they bring, how does that fit into your strategic vision for Knack and what you're hearing from your customers?
Let's take B2B. Let's concentrate on B2B itself. The number one role of a salesperson or a customer service rep or a product specialist in B2B is to recommend the right product for the right use case to the customer, right? So the idea here is, how do you take that tribal knowledge and convert that into an institutional knowledge base? That's number one. And then secondly, how do you present it in an easy way for the customers or sales reps or anyone who needs it? Let's get that out of the way, right? So one of the things I think we touched upon earlier in the day, all search, traditional search, let's talk about it. I'm not going to name any tools on that, but all traditional search does, as James, as you rightly said, just gives you a lesser number of products to choose from. So search is excellent if you know what you want. Search is horrible when there is a slight, if you're not sure, if there is a little bit of uncertainty. So that's where something like Zoovu comes in. And what got us excited was the use case is not just for the CPQ or the configured products, but even for stock products, distributors who have 30,000 products. How do you recommend which widget or which hinge or fastener to even recommend to a customer? Most of the people know the use cases, right? So we try to, in earlier days, we tried the whole, if you give me 20 parameters up on top and I'll give you parameters based search. Again, if I know what I want, then that's fair enough. It's like an old way of saying, I'll give you 20 search filters and now you go to town with these. So that used to be the earlier use case. What we are seeing with Zoovu now is, because of their platform, because of AI capabilities, it becomes easier for us as an SI to offer a very compelling experience to our customers. It makes it easier for us that instead of having to custom build a detailed and every use case driven search and think about a project itself, right? Where it could take you 2 or 3 sprints to get Solar right. And then again, with every addition of every single use case, you again have to reprogram, rechange. All these changes are completely dependent on developers, and it was good while it lasted. Today, we don't see any reason why we should continue with the same old approach. So that's where Zoovu coming in right at the top. It says, tell me what you are interested in. Tell me what your problems are. And Zoovu can help direct a customer to the appropriate set of products and solutions.
So I'm hearing not only are you able to deliver a better experience to your customers when it comes to search and locating the right product, but you can do that in less time and less effort. Exactly. With the Zoovu AI platform, correct?
Exactly. With composable, like for example, we keep hearing, right, in SAP also, composable commerce. And what does this really mean? What it means is that instead of trying to force fit one product to do it all, you're saying, hey, let's plug in the appropriate specialist, bring in, like we do on our calls, right? When we need some help on a CPQ person, we call a CPQ expert, we call a sales expert, we call a commerce expert. Think of Zoovu as a product discovery expert that you can now use in your sales applications, commerce applications, whatever that may be.
Fantastic. Well, I know everyone's always excited in doing more with less time and less cost. So that's a strategic advantage that this partnership definitely brings to our customers. So to circle back around that, Julie, why don't you talk a little bit about some of the benefits that now this partnership with Knack Systems and our holistic approach to CX strategies and platforms will bring the Zoovu customers and prospects?
Yeah, it's one of the things I'm really most excited about because, as a vendor that's focused on a very specific area, as you can imagine, that's primarily where we're working with customers around product discovery. But there are, our SI network, Knack in this case, you have a broader view to initiatives that are happening at customers. And one of the, the unique value adds that Zoovu offers is, one, the ability to enhance and enrich data, as an example. Both of those things have broad reach within an organization in terms of other value they can convey that as a vendor focused on product discovery, we're not necessarily having those conversations with customers. Whereas a strategic partner like Knack, you have visibility to that full, product life cycle, customer journey across all of the different solutions and can fit Zoovu in various ways. And I'll use an example that I think plays well here. Right, we've worked with a customer where, again, our product data platform that powers these experiences has the ability to generate, the product compatibility relationships that say, this product works with this product, and which is really valuable. Like if you're a manufacturer, your customers want to understand, well, if I buy this, does it work with the thing I already have? Yes, perfect, great. Well, manufacturer also has a distribution network. And, if there's a need in that distribution network for data similar to that, well, in this case, Knack would understand that, hey, Zoovu's already creating that data. Let's talk about how we get that data to our distributor friends so that we can improve their experiences as well. Right? To me, that's the real value in a relationship like this is you bring the broader view and you also understand how all the solutions work together to create great experiences throughout the value chain.
The upstream and downstream of, not only the data that y'all need in order to be effective and efficient, but also the data and the insights that you generate and collect, how can they be fed into the ancillary systems that support that overall experience to provide a more robust and tailored experience to the customer, and ultimately helping keep that customer sticky with our partners.
Exactly. Exactly right.
And James, just to double click on what example, I know it sounds simple, but I'll spend a minute on this. Julie just mentioned that product association, right? Not just for accessories and extra, and you might want to also buy this and all that. Right. Not that if you like this, you like this. No. There are products that need to be bought together. And we are seeing that with our customers where not only buy an appliance, but you need to buy the hoses, all that kind of good stuff. The traditional way of doing this is it has to be hard-coded in the product relationships. Right? Yeah. Can the tool do it? Yeah, commerce tools do it. But the problem is who maintains all this? The problem is at the end of the day, everything starts becoming a maintenance nightmare. And that, I believe, every opportunity we as an SI can get to introduce our customers to a better way to do this, it becomes our duty as a good SI. So that's where we see this partnership also coming in. I'm hoping that a lot of stuff that we are dreaming and talking about, we are seeing value in there. Hopefully, we'll soon very quickly see them in action in many of our customers.
Definitely. That's what we're being asked for. And I think it's definitely where the market is thinking. I talk to executives every day, and one of the things that they're constantly being challenged with is doing more with less. And then not only are they trying to get these systems and these processes innovative, but also in a shorter period of time, but also the ability to have them more sustainable. Because the last thing you want to do is pour in digital concrete with systems like this and then not being able to continue to be maintained and updated in an effective and cost effective manner to maintain the value that they're delivering to the organizations. So that is a key critical success factor that I see in initiatives like this. Excellent. Well, I think we're about at the top of the time of our here. I thank y'all very much for your insights. Very much excited about the partnership, getting to work with some old friends, Julie and the team over at Zoovu. I know that we've got some more of the CX Next and Now podcast coming. I think we're going to be doing an industry-specific episodes coming up way. So stay tuned for that. Be sure to subscribe. I think there's probably a button down there somewhere where you can click on for subscribing for the next version of these. And thank you very much for your time. Thank you, Julie, for your time, and Sandeep for yours.